What's up, pandas? This is the Panda Photographer. You know me, Kiki Alexander. Thank you for watching the 3 o'clock live stream. Today is Friday, March 15th. And I'm sorry that the live stream started at 3 p.m. today. I had to take care of some legal stuff with my attorney. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I really do. It really helps me grow on this platform. And not only that, it helps me to develop a very good communication with you guys from the Panda Nation. That's who you are. But I'm going to wait a few minutes before we start. So I'm going to tell you how this video is going to go down. Now, we are going to add a portrait photo of a portrait of a male model. But we're going to talk about some Sony news really quickly. But I just want to reflect on something that Manny Ortiz made a video about toxic. And I just made a video on Instagram about everything that we do as a photographer. It doesn't matter what profession that you do for a living. We are toxic as we educate. We might have bias between someone else's work, and we may be biased against someone else's photography. As human beings, we are toxic no matter what. Good intent, bad intent, doesn't matter. But when you are a photographer and you're trying to address the situation, you also have to address your flaws. And I'm at flaw at this because I'm toxic as well. So if you look back on my little channels, you see me rant on Canon, mess with Canon, tease Canon, Sony or Nikon or Pentax or Fuji, whatever. That's toxic. So I just wish more photographers would be more honest about and reflect on about their behaviors as well to make a good example on the topic toxic. Because everything that we do is toxic. Everything that we write, take photos of, is toxic. Everything that we establish in our lives just to, let's say, try to be better than the next photographer, it's toxic. So if I was any other photographer, I would come up forward and say my flaws first before I start to make assumptions about someone else being toxic, because the video seems more directly towards someone else than, but I could be wrong, but someone that's understands psychology education, it seems more directly towards someone, and that's what the content was based off. So, and this could be this is why it's toxic, because someone's making content off of someone's negativity, bringing something to the community, and as a photographer to the art of photography and addressing this in this community like I'm doing now, it's toxic. Because I am actually in disarray about how he addressed it, and I feel that I'm not trying to start a war here. What I'm trying to say is that if I'm going to address it, I'm going to tell you guys I am at flaw no matter who I am. I'm not perfect, and that's the problem with YouTubers. They pretend they're perfect. They know the answer when you don't know the answer. You can't get rid of toxic. Period. Everything that we do is toxic. So I just feel like the content was not even necessary at this point. Well, and like as I said before, the content seemed more driven off someone's negativity that have him made the content in general. But anyway, guys, let me just fix this. Okay. Hello, wake up, iPhone. The hell are you doing? Oh, iPhone, you're so bad. But anyway, guys, I'm the Panda Photographer, and I'm gonna talk about some Sony stuff. I'm gonna talk about some news that you may want to elaborate with someone else or try to share this content with someone. But yeah, so you know that Sony adapter that I bought to power the DCN and power out? Well, I did a little modification to it, and I started to resolder some things on it and replace some power phases on that and made it better. So right now it's actually being powered by the DCN. Sorry for whoever I brought it off of Amazon, but I modified the shit out of it and I made it better, and now it's running smooth. As you can see, it's smooth. So not laggy like it was before. It's like, yeah, it was really laggy. It was something I wasn't very impressed. But yeah. But other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully the first few minutes was not too boring for you. I just wanted to address some of my toxic behavior on this platform and as a human being. But with that said, everyone, let's get started really quickly and let's roll the intro. If you guys are new here, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do share. Please do what you do best as a community. And you can go to my website here at 646studios.com, where you can see all the little fantastic galleries that I have for you to look at and also share with people. If you're looking for a photographer for hire, I'm a travel photographer. I'm a self-taught photographer. I'm a self-YouTuber, self-taught videographer. All this I learned on my own with my education. But other than that, I have a website here. You guys want to go support what I do, I have a PayPal donation link that you don't need a PayPal account to donate. Right there. And you can donate to my cause as a travel photographer. But other than that, you can also go to my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I just post something about my passport situation. So you may, in all my photos and events, all the stuff I have covered in the past. So check that out. I also have a Facebook. You also can check me out on Facebook. But mind you, if you are on Facebook, I do check account to see if you're a real person. I want to see what can I offer you as a friend, as a new true friend, or someone that you're interested in getting to know. But other than that, you can also find me on Twitter. Yes, I'm on Twitter. So Twitter, tweet me if you would like, or share a tweet if you can. So it'll be nice. But other than that, guys, let's get into the topic right now. And Sony has teased some 8K mirrorless camera or camcorder. So this was shot at 7,680 times 4,320 at S-Log 3 using S-Gamma 3 at 25 frames per second. And I'm not quite sure. I know in Japan the frequency of the lights are shoot at a different shutter speed at 100 of a second, but this looks really sharp and really detailed. But I'm quite not convinced, in my opinion, and let me tell you why I'm not convinced. Because to me, this can be from the A7S too. You get what I'm saying? This could be a camera that is already in the market, or another camera, or it could be a A7S Mark III or a camcorder. They don't say, but this is just a tease. But in my opinion, 8K is going to be looking good when the Olympics come to Japan. So if you guys are not familiar with that, the Olympics is coming to Japan. So keep up with that. But let's see here really quickly. Trying to read some of these comments. Oops. What's up, Barry Street? Okay, Barry's in the house. Good to see you here, Barry. Barry Street is in the house. But anyway, I talked about this before. The Samyang 85mm 1.4 EF lens, and it's a really beautiful lens. And you can definitely check out some promo video of this lens, some optical performance on some photography. And I think Christopher was the one that actually tested this lens for Samyang, because I think, if I'm correct, I think he is an ambassador for Samyang. I could be wrong, but Christopher Frost, he's a really good YouTuber, does a lot of lens reviews. Go check him out. I'll probably link his link in the video descriptions later on, so you guys go check it out. But yeah, it definitely is sharp at 185 f1.4, and it tells you everything that you need to know, like the bokeh, the expressions of the usual field, the depth of field, its glass, its focal plane, its chorobic aberrations, how it is well controlled, like the IRIX 150mm f2.8 micro lens, really well controlled, and flare control too. So keep that in mind. You're also going to check out how the glass elements are structured, so you guys have a better understanding of how Samyang has come a long way. By the way, Samyang has come a long way of producing lenses on the market, and kudos, Samyang. I really do appreciate that you guys are really doing it and making it budget friendly and not overpricing your lenses, because like Sony on the other hand, oh, it's a G Master, you're paying for the label and the name. You're not, yes, you're paying for optics, but you can get the same optics for cheaper. Pateron has proven that, Samyang has proven that, but then again, Sony is in the league of its own. It has the technology to improve autofocus capabilities, animal tracking, which is going to be a new firmware update pretty soon to some of the Sony lineup cameras. But like I said, Samyang has come a long way, and Pateron, by the way, but really Samyang has come a long way to get to where they are, and kudos. Seriously, kudos to Samyang. I really do appreciate Samyang. And it's weather seal, by the way. You can see it. It can tell you, oh yeah, our lenses is weather seal. And guess what, Sony? This is not a battle here. The Samyang is trying to improve and try to tell you guys, if you are on a budget, you don't necessarily need to spend $2,100 for the 85.1.4 lens from Sony, or $1,600. You don't. That's why Samyang is trying to offer same quality lenses, same optical performance, same autofocus capabilities, but less of the cost, so you don't have to go broke or bankrupt or get kicked out your house when your wife kicks you out from buying such a stupid Sony G Master lens. No offense, Sony, but you have damaged some relationships and some marriages. Just be honest. And here they explain about the flare control. It's well controlled, and dude, the coating on it is by far improved on the Samyang's part. But yeah, yep, Sony 1635 f2.8 is going for almost 2,000 euros. So like I said, expensive. And there's a new firmware update for the Sigma MC11 adapter. So for those that do own the Sigma 11 MC11 adapter, this is going to be probably for the Sigma 18 to 300 f 3.5 to 6.3 DC micro lens. It's going to be for the Sigma 24 to 70. The Sigma 150 to 600, and the 85 f1.4, because they updated their lenses, so it works better for Sony cameras. So yeah, it's going to be as fast or as equal to the Sony native lenses, because a lot of people are making comparisons between Sigma and Sony lenses, and it's always this: who's better, Sigma or Sony on the 85 f1.4s? And Sony's always come on top because it's really a true native lens. Even though Sigma, you have to adapt. Well, now you don't have to adapt because they just started making 85 f1.4s for Sony. But here's the point: Sony lenses are true native adapted lenses, but the Sigma is a native adapter, but not a true native adapted lens. So, but autofocus capabilities are different from each brand, so it's hard to tell. But then the Nikon Z7 sensor tested on XDR mark, blah 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 blah. Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you believe these scores, that's fine. But hear me out. I just don't trust XDR mark for anything. I just don't trust. I used to, and then I find out some inconsistencies in their test, and because other photographers did similar tests and proven that this camera performed better than this one. So where did they find this from? Or how did they test it? They did similar tests. So I don't go based on these scores. So I, as a photographer, I do stress, don't base your purchase on these scores. That's the worst thing you can do. And I know they have a job to do, and see, I'm being toxic right now. As I said in the beginning of this video, toxic. Don't base scores on your don't base your purchase on scores. Please don't do that. That's one of my biggest mistakes. And the reason why I say that is because I learned a lesson from that. And you do not want to. And that's up to you. But to me, I'm telling you, as the Panda Nation, do what I do best. Don't base your purchase on scores. Based on what you need it for and how you're going to use it. Because each and every photographer uses it differently. That's the reality, and that's the realism about photography. We use gear differently than the other photographers. That's why there's always such things called workshops or tutorials, or, and you get it, classrooms, education. So, and announcement on AirMagic drone software if you need it, blah 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 blah. And oh boy, and here's another lens from LensBaby. LensBaby Edge 35 optic. Now this lens here is based on taste. Let me tell you why it's based on taste. It's soft, and it's sharp right in the middle. Let me explain. If you go down here, you can see how it gets us off this nice, different kind of new lens flare. But it has a very unique characteristics to the lens. So, like I said, this lens is just for those who are looking for that uniqueness in the art of photography. So if you creative, or you are someone that's willing to like dash out a little bit more cash for some lens like this, it's up to you. But it's, mind you, it only has 8 blades. So, you know, it's up to you, but you can tell from the images, like you see how it's soft on the edges and on the sides, but it's sharp in the center. It's unique. It's just a unique lens, and you can see how it's sharp in the center, but not sharp all the way through. But yeah, it's unique. You may like it, you may not like it, but and that's it, guys. So, but other than that, yes. Go up in here, exit that out. Alright, so we are in Lightroom. So I got my Wacom tablet pen in my hand, and let's start editing a photo. Since I haven't done a Lightroom tutorial in about 2 to 3.5 weeks, I figured I'd just do one live for you so you guys can see how I edit photos on a, instead of seeing my Lightroom video tutorials. But I figured I'd do one live for you guys here. So now what I'm about to do may be based on taste, ladies and gentlemen, so don't take this editing tutorial with a grain of salt, okay? But this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't be afraid to hit that auto button, but hit the auto button. And if you want to tweak, and this is what I do recommend, tweak the levels. Tweak your exposure, contrast, your highlights, your shadows, your whites, your blacks, your clarity, your dehazing, your vibrance. Do it, because it's going to help you understand how to use Lightroom. So I do have a Wacom tablet. Oh, I do have the pen in my hand, so I'm going to be using the Wacom tablet. So, and what I'm going to do next is just show you guys the image, how sharp it is. Now I did shoot this with shoot this with the Sony A7R with the Sony FE 90mm micro lens. So if you guys want to purchase the micro lens, it's a really good buy. So, and trust me, that lens is freaking sharp for portraits. Oh my goodness, so sharp. All right, so sharp. And you can see how sharp it is. Look how sharp it is. Holy crap. Look at that. Look at the detail. That's like... Okay, we're done. Let's go home. It's in the live stream. We're done editing. No, we're not. We're not done editing. But... So what I'd like to do in here is like, okay, so let me just increase the exposure just a bit. Like, boom, right there. And let me bring in a little bit more contrast and adjust the highlights just a bit. Right there. That seems about right. Now I'm going to bring my shadows up. Just bring the shadows up just a bit. Right there. Now, for my blacks, I'm probably going to open my blacks a little bit. Just right about there. You can, if we zoom in, you can definitely see where that eye is still in, and it's just brilliant. The micro lens, the Sony A7R is a secret killer portrait lens. That's why I use micro lenses for all my portraits. It's a Pateron SP90mm. I just use micro lenses for portraits. But damn, it's so sharp. But what I am gonna go is go to the colors here. Portrait. So I'm gonna use Adobe Portrait. Now, like I said, take this video with a grain of salt. You may do your portraits differently, but as I'm seeing what I'm doing on my display, and not gonna mess with the tone curve just yet, but I am gonna mess with the hue a little bit. So I'm gonna bring down the reds a little bit. Wait. Slightly. And I'm gonna punch some of those blues in his shirt. You can see how the blues change in his shirt, as you can see. So the hue, saturation, and newness does affect the image. Now I am shooting in RAW, so keep that in mind. RAW. I'm not shooting JPEG. RAW. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I'm gonna just bring that blues up just a bit, make him a little bit more punchy, and the aqua as well. Actually, bring that up a little bit more than the blues. And there's really no greens there, but there is a little bit of yellow, so I'm gonna push it back a little bit. Because, you know, and the saturation, I'm gonna just boost up the saturation just a bit on that red, and then boost that blue just slightly until I feel like, yeah, that's pretty enough. So when I'm boosting it, I'm looking at the screen and I'm looking at his shirt, and all the way through you can see how his beard is just in focus. Everything's in focus. Lips, detail, facial hair. And what else I'm going to do is just go back into the luminescence a little bit, bring that up a little bit on the reds, and bring the orange a little bit. Yes, just right there with the, and then with the blues, I'm going to punch it up about 4 and just leave that alone because this is a straight portrait. But I want to change the amount of sharpness, so I'm going to add 50. And I am going to add, yeah, that seems about right. And then I'm going to add 1.1. And on your keyboard, if you're using a PC, I use alternate button on the keyboard. So alternate it, and I'm going to mask it. Just where everything's sharp. Just gonna mask it so everything is sharp. Why I do that all the time in portraits? Because I don't want everything else, even if the background is blacked out, or if you're using a background that everything is blurred out and you have that nice bokeh effect, you do want to still mask and use sharpening mask tool to make sure that only the subject, the talent, is sharpen. Because that's what's going to make a difference in your photograph. And we're not going to soften it too much. We're going to just do 8%. I'm going to hit curve aberrations. Lens profile. You can see the lens profile is a Sony FE 90mm micro lens. And I did use a Sony. And I'm actually going to fix right there. Boom. So I just did an upright alignment and hit auto, and it just correct it for me. You can see what if I turn it off, it's slightly to the side a little bit. Just slightly to the side. And then we got another comment. See what it said. What's up, dude? I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, and I do sorry if I'm butchering your name, but it is Ras Su my video. The names on YouTube is so hard to pronounce. But I'm sorry if I butchered the name. I really did. So I'm gonna do that to that photo, but we are not done. Now I'm gonna use some brushes. First, I like to go in here, and yes, I got tons of brush strokes and strike a pose brush. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna enhance those eyes. So what we're gonna do is zoom into each eye. We're gonna make a brush for each eye, because each eye is lit differently, as you can see in an image. And what we're gonna do is increase that brush a little bit. I'm gonna use my Wacom tablet here. Enhance those eyes. Bring out those juicy, nice brown eyes. By the way, this is Glenn Parker. I'm not sure if he's still living in Portland. But you can see where I'm increasing that beautiful eye color. And then what we're going to do is move over to one eye. Click new. Click on this one here. So we have a new brush for each eye. And I do recommend starting a new brush. Just bring that brush down a little bit. I like the Wacom tablet because it's just a precise tool. I know I have this Logitech G602 gaming mouse, and that is really freaking amazing mouse. It's really accurate and really precise and really fast. But look at that. Big difference, guys. Look at that. Big difference. Look at that. That is just superb. Already, I just want to just like send this out, but we're gonna do a little bit more touching up on the skin, so don't worry about that. We're gonna fill this in a little bit. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna take my brush. Now I'm gonna be using a heal tool, and what I'm gonna do is take his scar and just remove that scar. And I'm going to try to match it up precisely. And make sure if you do use the cloning or heal tool, make sure you do the adjustments. But normally I leave it around between 44 and 58%. You can see how like it matches up very nicely. So now we got rid of the scar on his forehead. So and what I'm also gonna do to his face is kind of get rid of some of these and like these other spots here. So what I'm gonna do is zoom in 1:1. And bring my brush down about to 17%. What we are doing is just cloning some areas so we can make the eyes pop a little bit more and give more of that masculine and that that man look and make the eyes brighten up a little bit so it looks more powerful. Get rid of that. Clear that up a little bit. See here. Let's clear this up too. Clean the edges around the eye. That's what I like to do. Clean the edges around the eye. Sorry if my computer's a little slow because I'm running so many applications right now. It's not even a joke, guys. I'm running so many applications right now. And I thought this is not going to work because Lightroom takes up a lot of resources and OBS. So, and lucky the new OBS is working for everything. But let's see here in the comments. Oh, my man Paul is in the house. Spring break, baby. It's spring break. So, yeah. So, Paul is a student here at UW. And I'm helping with the portrait. I also helped him this past summer in 2018 with a housing problem. But that's resolved. And good guy, guys. He's a good man. And you see where there's a hair patch right here? You see this hair patch? Let me just show you guys. You see with this hair? We want to remove that from his face. We want to remove those imperfections. So what we're going to do is brush it, take our brush, and we're going to actually going to clone this area. Just slightly. Boom. Just cloning that area. And ta-da! It's all gone. So, and then we're going to move over to put this in fill. Sorry if the computer's acting laggy. Not sure why it's acting laggy. Should have been well equipped to run this, but now I don't want to do too much. But it seems like I kind of want to get rid of this as well. So we're going to try to get rid of this. See if we can clone that area, and we're going to move this over here. Yep, we can do that as well. Great. And what we can do also is get rid of some spots. It's not too much of a bother. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you're doing this for like professional use or intermediate or amateur use, you kind of want to do this because it's so important to show your skills as a photographer and as a retoucher. If you're an amateur or a beginner, you kind of want to know how to do this. And we are going to fix some of these other imperfections here. And then we're going to do here. I'm going to bring the brush down a little bit. Right there. And we are in the clear. Alright. Oops. Navigation to went south. Okay. So if you guys want to support what I do, like I said, there's always a PayPal link in the descriptions below. Really does help me out, guys. You know how those hotel fees are. But you see now, his face is... You see what I was talking about before. Now his eyes, underneath the outside of his layer of his eyes, it's clear now. So we want to actually try to make his eyes pop a little bit more. So what I'm also going to do, let's take one of my brush tools. And I'm going to whiten the eyes. Like I said, each time you do each eye, you want to actually make sure you do a different brush, a new brush each time. So we're going to go up and zoom in 1 to 1. And we're going to hit this area here. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually brush. Okay. The slight lag. But this is why I recommend the Wacom tablet to do this. just really precise device to use when retouching. I'm not sponsored by Wacom at all, but Wacom, if you are listening and watching this, send me a new tablet. Brighten his eyes a little bit, and what I'm going to do now is make the eyes a little bit with a little bit more clarity, add a little bit more sharpness to that, and I'm actually going to increase the whites a little bit. Right there, and boom, we are done with one eye. And now we're gonna do another eye, which this one doesn't need much brightening, but we're gonna try to keep the exposure down just a bit, slightly. Oops, let me just use this instead. Just brush his eyes a little bit, give it a little bit more pop. But guys, if you guys want to buy some of the lighting equipment, I left links to the Amazon links down below. And we are done here, and we can go back into fill. You can see where eyes do make a big difference. And now we can just retouch this photo slightly. See here. Now I can clear this up. I can make his skin smooth, but I like to rather leave his skin sharp, because I like to smooth women's skin and sharpen men's skin, but also make it really smooth. We can do that by doing this. Go to the brush tool. You can do the sharpen face, but that's going to actually add contrast. So we're going to just kind of want to soften the face. And where is it actually? Or did I redesign it? Yeah, there it is. So we're going to just about right there. I'm gonna add some sharpness, and just gonna show you what's gonna happen to the image. Not sure you guys are seeing this, but you can see how it's just smoothing it out. Just smoothing it out. I don't like to touch the eyebrows. I like to leave the eyebrows sharp. I'm gonna just increase that size of that brush. Make sure we get around the eyes, forehead. Make sure we get some of these areas. Around the nose, we're gonna get something around the nose. We are going to, actually, I kind of want to change the beat of the music now. That's better. Beard area. Okay, so we smoothed out his skin just a little bit, not too much. If you guys want to see how much we are smoothing out his skin. What's up, Barry? Barry says, thanks, Panda. I'm learning Lightroom. You just taught me something I didn't know. Cool. I appreciate that. Glad that I'm actually doing this, because I haven't done one in a while. Actually, I haven't done one-on-one talks while doing live streams like this and doing these touch-ups. But let me just use the pen instead, so I'm more accurate. So I'm just get underneath the eyes a little bit. Go around the eyes. Get that area. Go over here. Kind of match. just slightly around the eyes. And with this light area. And then go around those eyes again. Keydrain just left an Instagram message from 924 Photography. He's a funny dude. Keydrain. Alright. And we just softened up his skin a little bit, but also kept some sharpness in the skin. So if you guys want to look. Yes, do it when I'm done editing the photograph. Alright, so we're gonna refill it. Oh, the computer's acting sluggy. I'm running so many freaking programs right now. Ooh, that's crazy. Alright, so what I'm gonna do next is add the rest and Nick collection. Watch what I do carefully. This is why I think everyone should have Nick collection, because it's going to actually make a difference to all your photography and all your landscapes and light exposures, your portraits. It's going to make a big difference. Give it some time to load up. What's up, Jeffrey? What's up, Jeff? Panda power. There you go. Panda power. You guys are the Panda Nation. You guys give me the power, so it does make sense. So I appreciate you guys tuned in for the live stream. And you just missed it, Jeff. I just add this particular photo. I'm not really doing much to the photo because I already have this photo on my Instagram and on my website, but I just want to show you how, like, I kind of want to do minor retouching if you're just a beginner or an amateur retoucher. And so Nick collection is popping up right now, and it's taking some time because I'm running OBS and I'm running the Sony software imaging app. I'm running Lightroom, so you know how many memory resources. So if you guys want to be very supportive, it's that PayPal donation link down in the description below. I can buy more RAM, so I won't have this problem. But you can see already with the detail extractor, it's like, look at the difference. Like boom, 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 boom. But we're not gonna use too much of that. Slightly, just a bit. You can see the little slight difference. You see that? I'm not sure you guys can see it in the real world, but I'm gonna uncheck the box. Excuse me. I need a drink of water. And we're gonna check the box. Now you can see more detail coming out from his hair, light, just brightening up just a bit. So, but I do want this, kind of want this, let's do normal. See, if I do too much, look at that, boom, that's just not what we want. We don't want that. Well, we can go for that HDR look if you want to go for that HDR photo look. That is optional, based on taste, so take this with a grain of salt. But if I was to do an HDR photo, I would do this. I would do 24%. You know what? Let's do one of these HDR photos then. Let's do that. Let's make the. You guys are pushing me to do something really interesting, so let's push it. Let's do 20. Let's do what Adobe said they actually added to Lightroom, which is 30% more detail. So I'm going to add a little bit, 30% more detail. So look at that big difference. Boom, 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 boom. Good thing I softened his skin before I applied this, because if I didn't soften his skin just a slightly little bit, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't look very pleasant. So remember, do all your touching up and Lightroom first. Then you can go to Nick collection and add some of the presets and adjust your presets. So we're going to do this, and now we're going to add a filter to this. So we're going to go in portraits. We're going to go pro contrast. We're going to do the auto, and what I'm going to do here is you see how that pro contrast brung out some of the shadows on one side, give it that rampant lighting off on one side of his face, so you see the eyes. What we're gonna do is just bring this down a little bit, right about there. 40% of correct contrast and 37% correct color cast. But I'm gonna bring that dynamic contrast up a little bit. Actually, no, we're gonna just leave it. Should we? No, just leave it right down. Then what I'm going to add next, what I like to do is go in here and do a wetting, fix the warmth. So we got a choice. We can do a fixed warm or a wetting. What do you guys think? Which one looks better? I'm going to go with the wetting dress, but I'm going to take my point and fix the white balance. It says gray. His eyes is white. So just do that again. Hit the white area. Boop. Here we go. That's better. So now hit the white. And the reason why I do this with the white neutralization is because I kind of want to fix the color tone within the skin, but also in the whole entire image. But we're gonna make it a little bit more dramatic in a second. And then we go back to portraits, and we're gonna give it a nice subtle. Should we give it a nice glow, strong glow, warm glow? What do you guys think? Should we give it a glow? Let's see what you guys are saying. All right. So we're gonna actually try to let's apply. Let's go with subtle glow, and we can boost the subtle glow just a bit. That looks okay. That looks okay. Now we are actually going to do a vignette. We got a default here. Just focus on the face. Now we can adjust the shape, the edges, the transition, the size, and we can adjust pretty much a lot of stuff in here. So what I like to do, let's just fix the transition really quickly. Focus on his face, edges, size. Now we're just gonna fix that transition a bit. Because I do want part of the image. See, keep in mind that I like to fill the frame. Now this was shot on the A7R, which is a 36.4 megapixel camera. Keep in mind, I like to fill the frame each time so that I don't waste pixels. I know that's not, it's important, but some people just say you can just crop, but I just don't like wasting pixels. That's just me. I do it on my crop sensor, I do it on my full frames. I just don't like wasting pixels. So this is why I always recommend to anyone, hey, fill the frame each and every time if you shoot. Try to get in so you know how to shoot it, or how to compose your image so you don't have to crop your image that much in post. So, and right now this says it's 36.2 megapixels, shot at ISO 400. You can see all the metadata right there on the bottom here. So, and then we're gonna save this and let this actually make a different file. Hey. So I'm happy it's Friday, so I don't have to deal with no one's bullshit over the weekend. I'm just pretty happy about that. But the sun is coming out. It was such a nice day here in Madison, Wisconsin yesterday, but now it just went back to like the 30s. It was 60 yesterday. and instantly went back into their high 30s. Well, early this morning it was low 30s, but this afternoon got up to 38. So I think that's fair and decent. It's not cold. It's not bad. Like, I can literally like hang outside all night. But you guys want to support what I do, it'd be so kind of you. You guys hit that PayPal donation link down in the descriptions below, or go to my website at 646studios.com. It'd be easier that way, and the donation link is right down at the bottom of the page. So since we are going to fix a little highlights here, let's fix the highlights just a bit here, just a bit right there, boom, just right there. And you can see where we can bring that up a little bit. We can bring that up a little bit. All right, that looks, well, I wanted to right there. Perfect. Okay, that seems about right. I'm too nitpicky. See, I'm nitpicky because I just wanted to make sure that it's just right. Okay, that's perfect. Now let me show you things I could have used, guys. And let me show you let me just show you something interesting. So going here, I'm gonna put this one here. There's a pre-ed version and a active ed version. You can see the difference in how much detail comes out the image using Lightroom and Nik Collection combined. It gives you the tools you necessarily need to edit your portraits. Now, a lot of people want to be a professional photographer, and that title to me is just washed out. Just be you. Just be yourself. Just be what you do best. You should not care what people think about your image or what. I can slightly increase that little skin tone a little bit. People like to nitpick just to pick a bone because this is what they would do. Because maybe sometimes their monitors is not calibrated correctly, and maybe yours is calibrated, or maybe yours is not calibrated and theirs is calibrated. But it's always good to have criticism because it helps you build up your self-esteem. It helps you get better at what you do. So take it from me, I take criticism about everything I do or my appearance. So people always have to like say something about either my teeth and like, listen, this is a reminder of what I lost, not this. I don't care about this. It's the young life that I lost, my daughter. So people always gotta criticize me for the way that I talk because like before I was making content in Japanese, and then I would get these comments from, I'm pretty sure they were black people. Dude, you're black. Talk English, bro. I came here to look for a tutorial and this shit is in Chinese. Like, I'm speaking Japanese. That's how this is, see? Like I said in the beginning of the video, toxic. See, now I'm getting toxic. But I'm just pointing out some key factors here. Is that, first of all, he's uneducated. Two, if he was someone that's really understanding and learning a different language, he or she would kind of understand, like, it's good to be a little bit diverse and open-minded. But you know what, I just kill the noise. That's what I would do. But anyway, you can see the before and after. So now they're gonna go back in here. I'm gonna add a little bit of a watermark. Add my watermark before I export this out. I'm going to show you how I export my photos out again, just in case, so people don't want to have to go back into the other video. But if you are going to be uploaded to Instagram, I suggest watching my tutorial on how to upload high-res image. Well, it is actually a low-res image, but it's in high-res how I do it is just, it's weird, but I just want to do a little bit of touching up. But I can use these presets and just call it a day. But I choose not to use these presets. As you can see, look, I can use these presets, but I just choose not to. Just, I don't have a purpose right now. But I am going to use one. It's going to fix a little bit of, there we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Now, this is how I would export these files out. So I got two ways you could do this, guys. So I hope you guys are paying attention. Alright, so in this process, right, there's two ways. And I recommend doing this. There's a high res folder and a low res folder. The low res folder will have my watermark, and I would do, say, let's do long edge, resize. I check that box at the image size, long edge. 2048 will be my pixels, and 300 pixels per inch. This is for Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. I made a video about this already, but this is on my low res images. Now, there's another way to do low res for your website. Normally, I do 1000 at the pixels, and at the resolution, I do 72. Because people like to steal your images off your website and then try to make it seem like it's their images. Trust me, we have our fair share of thieves, and I have my fair share of those thieves, and I had to like tell them, take it down, or I'm gonna set the panda fire up your butt, and you don't want that. But anyway, but that's another way how to do low res images. And the high res, I just don't check the box at all. I just don't check it. I just want to keep the way it is, and that's how I export stuff. So, but anyway, guys, that's how I would edit this photo and show you guys what I did to the photo, so you guys have a good idea. Like, and now you can see like his eyes is just popping in your face. It's just giving you what you want. Like, I want to see those eyes. So, but yeah, that's what I would do in a situation. I know this is like practice on the hand, but guys, practice with your photos, and you can reset the photo and do it again. Practice, guys. Keep practicing, and trust me, no one's gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt you to practice like an hour or 2 hours a day. Like, what do you gotta do? If you're home for 4 hours a day, what are you gonna do within those 4 hours? Tell me. Are you gonna sit there and watch porn? Are you gonna sit there and play video games? Which doesn't sound too bad. Video games doesn't sound too bad. But the point is, try to, if you are interested in photography, please try to like literally live up to what you really want to do in photography. That is, I want to learn how to touch up. And if you can't afford this, try to do with your mouse. If you can't afford this wireless, beautiful gaming mouse from Logitech G062, which I did a review on this, by the way, it's a really in-depth review on this mouse. Trust me, you'll like this mouse. It's really badass. And I programmed it to do a lot of Lightroom stuff too, but I'm not going to go into that because I made a separate video in that review about that. It's long as hell. But anyway, there you guys have it. You have an image, you got a portrait, and let me show you guys once again. You guys have a nice portrait. You guys can like see, nice portrait. But anyway, guys, respect the channel. Do what you do best. Is hit that like button, share the content, leave your comments down below. I really do appreciate you guys. And let's see here. Do really appreciate it that you guys tuned in today. It was pretty fun. I like doing videos like that. I should do more of these videos, actually. I should do more. But thank you, Paul, for stepping in. Thank you, Barry, for stopping in. Thank you, Raw Videos. I'm gonna just like call you Raw Videos. Is that okay? Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Thank you, Jeff, for stopping in. But thank you, guys. And you see that kanji right there? Respect the channel. But like I said, guys, you guys want to support what I do, it'd be so good if you guys leave a donation, PayPal link as a child photographer. But other than that, it's 4 o'clock. Time to end the live stream. and I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Happy shooting.